This woman right here is one of the most persevering artists in the music industry, and her latest album might be one of the most important releases of all time.
I've been going through the process of re-recording all of my older music.
Red, Taylor's version, has completely blown up, changing the layout of the music industry forever. Any artist who manages to release hit after hit after hit knows a thing or two about connecting with an audience. I've watched hundreds of hours of Taylor interviews, and the more I looked into the re-release of her albums, the more I realised this wasn't just a rushed retaliation, but a masterclass in how to release the perfect studio album. I've closely studied Taylor and figured out the 3-step formula she's used to break the music industry. Taylor has been to hell and back, but her perseverance and courage of her convictions has led her to creative freedom and independence. But the real genius is her connection with her fans, which takes us on to step 1. Taylor has undoubtedly one of the most passionate and loyal fan bases the music business has ever seen. But this isn't by chance. Since the beginning of her career, Taylor has always made a huge effort to communicate and take inspiration from her loyal audience, or Swifties. Just take a look at her AMA's acceptance speech.
Also, just wanted to say to the fans, thank you for all the amazing support that you have thrown my way with Red, my version. It's been so much fun. I'm so lucky to be in your life and to get to have you in mine.
But fan engagement is a two-way street. Taylor has shared so much of her life through her music, allowing people to get invested in her story. As we have seen on popular shows like The X Factor, people love to support those who have been through hardship. Taylor has publicly talked about struggles with her own label and sung about toxic relationships she's had in the past.
It's really nice to be able to put this album out and not be sad, not be taking breaks in between interviews to cry. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's much better this way.
Allowing yourself to be open and sharing your struggles publicly is far from easy, but Taylor has deservedly reaped the rewards from this. She has let fans into her life, sharing her trials with them, almost like friends. But Taylor also involves her fans in the good moments as well as the bad. She shares her achievements with them and credits them for pushing her to achieve more. Just take a look at her pinned post on Twitter. It never would have been possible to go back and remake my previous work, uncovering lost art and forgotten gems along the way if you hadn't emboldened me. Red is about to be mine again, but it has always been ours. Now we begin again. Red, my version, is out. An amazing example of Taylor's relationship with her fans is her 10-minute release of All Too Well. Taylor mentions here that she's been reading fan comments on what they would like her to do next, and they were screaming for the full release of this track.
This was something that started out as a really hard thing I went through. The fans are the people who turned it into something very empowering. They were just saying to me over and over again, we want to listen to your versions. If you redo it, that's what we'll listen to. So that's all the fans doing. And so this is really, I just wanted to think about what could I do over the course of 1 week that would make them as happy, or try to make them as happy as they've made me.
Listening to her fans' requests turned out to be a fantastic move, as All Too Well has become the longest track ever to reach #1 in the charts. Which brings us on to step 2. Releasing a 10-minute song is a bold move in today's music industry. Day by day, all of our attention spans are shortening. Hence why Taylor's old record label forced to release a shortened version of All Too Well on the original version of Red. There is also a possibility that All Too Well was chosen for the short film release, as there was already a large amount of interest around who the song could be about. Now, whether you believe this gossip or not, one thing is for certain: the backstory became a marketing tool in itself, allowing the interest in the song to gain legs, and it's been running around cities all over the world, subtly promoting the new album. What's so clever about this is that Taylor already knew she had an audience for Red, but doing something totally different to the average pop star is newsworthy in itself, reaching even those who would not have initially taken notice of the release. The rebranding of the new album has been genius. The use of Taylor's version causes intrigue for those who haven't already heard of her situation, and encourages them to search for those answers. Controversy is a powerful tool, a tool I have no doubt Taylor understands well. Taylor was a writer of her songs, but not the owner of the masters. Even though the original Red masters went up for sale, she was refused the chance to purchase them. But Taylor didn't give up. She found the perfect solution: to re-record the songs she had written and produce them exactly how she and her fans had imagined them.
It's quite a clever loophole, Taylor. I really tip my cap.
Taylor's version has empowered her to disconnect from the past and literally take ownership of her future.
I'm really excited about it. I've been going through the process of re-recording all of my older music, and in the process I've dug up these songs that I wrote along the way that didn't make the album because I thought I want to save this for the next album. But then the next album would just be a completely different thing. So I'd be like, well, what's going to happen to that? And it turns out it's an opportunity for me to go back and re-record all the music that was on the original album and then what I'm really excited about is these songs that no one's ever heard before that were supposed to be on that album. And I've got artists like Chris Stapleton and Phoebe Bridgers featured on them.
I mean, come on.
While Taylor has released this album with a backing of a new record label, this is a clear sign of her pulling the strings, taking creative lead and project managing to perfection. She took the initiative to get others involved, and they certainly didn't take much convincing.
That song's really special to me, and I sent it to Phoebe and said it would mean the world to me if you would do this as a duet, because I really wanted another female artist who I loved to sing it with me. And her response was, I've been waiting for this text my entire life. And I was like, yes!
If some of the world's biggest artists are this enamored with Taylor, it's a sure sign she's doing something very special. Taylor has shown us a recipe for success without having to rely on these so-called powerful record labels. So I hope you're taking notes. Another artist who has shown us how to prosper in the music industry is Phineas. And if you would like to learn more about his tactical genius, then you should watch this video right here. And shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. I love you guys. Thank you.